So before I start this video, I just want to say thank you to every single person that watched my last deep dive about the movie Him. I really appreciate every single person that sat through, watched it to the end, and even subscribed and joined my community, joined the journey. It means the world to me. This video is all about the Olympics. Once again, I'd really appreciate it if you sit back, relax, watch it all the way to the end, because I'm sure you may learn something new in this video. Crazy stuff. This world that we live in is mad. Thank you to my supporters. Thank you to new people, old people, future people, past people. I appreciate you, and I'll see you lot at the end of the video. Peace.
Early in the morning,
So, as many of you already know, the Olympic Games began in ancient Greece. And as you can see on your screen, the ancient Olympic Games were a religious festival created to honor the gods, especially Zeus, king of gods. We can see that there was a religious purpose. We can see that there was rituals and sacrifices where they would sacrifice 100 bulls or oxen to Zeus. They would often give God the glory. And there was a sacred truce, which meant that people would be allowed safe passage for participants and spectators traveling to and from Olympia. And it was these very same games that inspired the father of the modern Olympics, Baron Pierre de Coubertin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, so we're going to call him Pierre going forward. Now, the era that Pierre was raised in and he lived in can be defined as anti-establishment, where religion was being touted as anti-freedom. A time where people lost faith in the church and revolted. Well, historically, the church has been used to control the masses. But that doesn't mean that a belief and a faith in God is wrong. And it also doesn't mean that religion is wrong. Now, God and religion are not synonymous. They're separate things, separate entities. But many people who are obviously religious believe in God. But like any industry, politics, media, whatever you want, there's always going to be people that abuse their power and use their power, use their influence to control the masses, manipulate the masses. Unfortunately, religion has been used historically for the same thing, just like many other industries. Personally, in my opinion, God is the truth and always has been the truth. But unfortunately, Satan has had his grubby little claws on people, men of God, throughout history. As I said, this is the era that Pierre was raised in, and he epitomized this thinking that salvation can be found within, not from God, but from your own spiritual journey. Now, this is key because this is exactly what Freemasons believe, and this is also what occultists believe. They believe in alchemy and alchemical rituals. I've spoken about it before, like I did in the movie Him, where we looked at the great work and alchemy. But just to remind you, spiritual alchemy is an ancient practice of inner transformation focused on refining the self to achieve personal growth and spiritual enlightenment, rather than a material goal of turning gold into lead. If anyone tries to tell you that it's physical, that's not what it is, it's spiritual. Now, some old 1,000-year-old alchemists did try to turn base metals into gold and all these things, but the reality is it's a spiritual process. In alchemy, the great work, otherwise known as the magnum opus, is the process of transmuting base matter into the philosopher's stone, a legendary substance with the power to turn lead into gold and create an elixir of life. But as I said, this process is the spiritual allegory for the alchemist's journey towards self-perfection, enlightenment, and the integration of the unconscious mind into consciousness. The Baphomet, for example, is an androgynous icon that occultists worship essentially, because it's part man, part woman, and part goat. It is the merging of both masculine and feminine. The being that you see on your screen right now goes by the name of Rebus. Rebus also is an androgynous icon, and it means jewel or double matter. And it's the end product of the alchemical magnum opus or great work. If you don't know what androgyny means, androgyny is the possession of both masculine and feminine characteristics, which can be expressed through a balance of traits in one's personality, behavior, or appearance. I'll be honest, guys, there's a reason why the modern male has the lowest level of testosterone noted in human history ever. There's a reason why men are becoming extremely feminine and women are becoming masculine. Because the people in power, the elites, they want exactly that. Many of them are alchemists. Many of them are occultists. They practice dark magic, dark rituals. Now, it doesn't matter what you and I believe. You're irrelevant. I'm irrelevant. Well, not in the grand scheme of things. I want you to believe the right thing, but in the grand scheme of things, it's irrelevant because the people that run this country, the people that run the world, they do believe in this stuff. Now, for the people that don't really see a problem with this, if we can all agree that The people that run the world are inherently evil people, ultimately. They're selfish, they're greedy, they're self-serving, all about cronyism, ensuring generational wealth for them and their peers at the expense of us, at the expense of billions of people. This is the type of people that run the world. So if we can agree that most of the people that run the world, if not all, are inherently bad people, selfish, and they believe in this stuff, surely us, as the masses, want to believe the opposite of what they believe. If you believe anything at all. You know what I'm saying? These people have knowledge that we don't have. These people run the world. So that's why I eventually went back to God last year, because of all the research I've done over the years. I don't want to be the person that they want me to be. Drug addict, alcoholic, gambling, just losing my mind to football games and this and that. No, it's about being healthy. It's about reading. It's about being in touch with God. It's about eating the right foods, not this junk that they push on us. You understand? Anyway, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent. Let me realign myself. Now, let me introduce to you the IOC, which stands for the International Olympic Committee, which is the governing body for the modern Olympic Games. Our good old friend, Pierre, was one of the co-founders of the IOC, and he was the father of the modern day Olympic Games. He wanted a games that was shorn of gods, which means without gods. He believed that he could turn the Olympic Games into a modern day sport religion, and he believed ultimately in alchemy, the desire to master your body and mind alchemically. He believed that was the future. Turn your back on God and become your own god. Exactly what these occultists and celebrities and billionaires believe. Now, guess what our friend Pierre is or was? A Freemason. Shock. If you do a quick Google search, Pierre was born into an extremely rich family. Extremely rich. And I'm talking like noble. You feel proper noble. 1800s. Anyone of that stature, anyone of that level, is highly likely that they're a Freemason. But you know what? Let's just look at the other co-founders and other prominent members of the IOC. As you can see on your screen, some prominent figures associated with the IOC have also been Freemasons. Most notably Baron Ampthill, who was one of the IOC's original members and also served as Pro-Grand Master of the United Grand Lodge of England. Another example is Avery Brundage, a former IOC president who was also a Freemason. We've got Spiros Samaras, the composer of the Olympic anthem, was a Greek Freemason who was initiated into the craft in 1889. We've got Imre Karalfi, a showman who played a key role in organising the 1908 London Olympics. He was a Freemason in the Scottish Constitution. We also have Arthur Villiers Russell, another original IOC member. He was a Freemason and the Pro-Grand Master of the United Grand Lodge of England. So alchemical rituals, being enlightened, being your own god, this is what Freemasons believe. Do you understand? So if we fast forward 130 years to the most recent Olympic Games, Paris Olympics, we can see what their influence looks like a century later. So the Paris Olympics in 2024 was full of controversy. It was a blatant mockery of Christ and a pure disrespect. The main message in the opening ceremony and the closing ceremony, the rituals, the global rituals, was to let us know as the masses that the old way of living, the old way is done, it's over. The new world order is here. The age of Horus, the age of self-idolization, self-worship and abandonment of God. Do you understand? Ultimately an age of chaos. Look at the world around you. Look at what science and all these amazing modern things have done for society. Every country is on the brink of civil war. Do you understand? England is in the gutter. America is in the gutter. All these countries are fighting themselves or fighting each other. Do you think that looks like a modern, healthy world? It's clearly not. As I mentioned, the age of Horus, that was an era predicted by Aleister Crowley, who called himself the wickedest man on earth, the Beast 666. He was visited in 1904, I believe, or his wife was, by Horus. He was visited by Alwus, the messenger of Horus, to say that he was going to usher in the age of Horus through his religious teachings, Thelema. The very same Thelema that has inspired Hollywood, the Beatles, David Bowie, so many rappers, all been inspired by a wicked, evil man, and nonce as well. Now let's start by talking about numerology. Numerology and numbers is incredibly important when it comes to occultists, Freemasons and things like that. Now, surprise, surprise, shock, right? The Paris Olympics was the 33rd Olympic Games. Do you know how crazy that is? Of all the Olympic Games to do the most blasphemous rituals, they decided to choose the 33rd Olympic Games. There were a few Olympic Games that got cancelled for wars and things like that, but if it had gone chronologically without any cancellations, etc., it would have been the 33rd. Now we know, well, if you don't know, we know that 33 is incredibly important in Freemasonry. It is the highest level you can achieve in Freemasonry. That is the level in which you unlock certain knowledge, certain ideas that the little man like us don't get access to. Do you understand? It's also why Disney, who was a confirmed Freemason, who was groomed in the De Molay Junior Freemasonic Society, named after the last Grand Master of the Knights Templar, Jack de Molay. It is the reason why Disney created Club 33. What is Club 33? Disney's Club 33 is, this exclusive club that you can join as a Disney member, where you get access to certain things and you get access to more privileges and luxuries. You have to pay like 20 grand a year or something to enter this Club 33. What the hell? Coincidence? 33rd Olympic Games? Disney, who's also a Freemason, called his Disney's exclusive club Club 33? Are we seeing how important numerology is? But don't worry, it doesn't stop there. This Olympics did something that it has never done before in any Olympic history. It decided to do this 6-kilometer walk or 6-kilometer ceremony that no other Olympics has ever done. Why did they choose 6? They could have chose 4, they could have chose 5, they could have chose 10, they chose 6. Across various esoteric and mystical traditions, the number 6 and the hexagram are powerful symbols of harmony and duality, union of opposites. The hexagram is often formed from an upward pointing triangle representing masculine energy like fire and the conscious mind, and a downward pointing triangle symbolizing feminine energy like water and the unconscious mind. Their overlap represents the reconciliation and union of these opposing forces. We've also got perfection and balance, planetary symbolism, and alchemy. We have already looked at alchemy and what that means, the merging of both masculine and feminine. There is a reason why they chose a 6-kilometer open walk or whatever. Now, the biggest thing that caused uproar and controversy was the blatant disrespect of the Last Supper, which was Jesus's Last Supper before being crucified, where he was with his disciples.
This is actually one of the funniest things about this event, is all these people and a lot of Christians going online saying, it's actually not the Last Supper. It's the Feast of Dionysus. Why are all the Christians getting so annoyed? And why are the Christians getting so mad? I am educated. I understand that this is the Feast of Dionysus. It's like the capacity of people to easily accept gaslighting is hilarious. It's like, are we back in COVID once again? Is that what's going on? Or, I guess so. I guess it doesn't take much. People don't learn their lesson. The scene is clearly referencing the Last Supper. The name of the tableau was a wordplay in French, which was la scène. I forget how exactly it goes. It's something like la scène de la Seine à Paris sur la Seine, which means you can't really translate it in French because there's a wordplay in it, which basically, if you translate it into English, it means the scene of the Last Supper on the Seine River. Because in French, one of the words for the Last Supper is la Seine. And so la scène de la Seine sur la Seine, right? And so the name of the tableau was referencing the Last Supper. The head of the event said that he was referencing the Last Supper. The main person in the middle, the DJ, the kind of fat lesbian DJ that was in the center, she posted on Instagram saying that it was the New Gay Testament, right? And that this is what they were doing. She deleted, of course, the post later and changed it by saying, no, it is Dionysus. And so first of all, clearly it was referencing Leonardo da Vinci's Last Supper.
We can see that they openly mock Christianity and this belief by having the Last Supper full of transformers. Sorry, I have to use that word for the algorithm, but full of transformers, men dressed as women, like an underage prepubescent child was involved, and it's utter chaos. Now, if you believe in Christianity at all, in Christianity, this type of behavior is what they call an abomination. So for them to openly mock Christ and openly mock the Last Supper by inverting Christian beliefs and history to this modern agenda, this modern way of living, this merging of both masculine and feminine, having men dressed as women, women dressed as men, it's blatantly disrespectful. They claimed it was about inclusion, but why couldn't you do inclusion without mocking a religion? They wouldn't dare have done this to Islam. They wouldn't dare have done this to any other religion. But because over years and years they've normalized anti-Christian beliefs, they can openly mock it. We see it in Hollywood all the time. Doja Cat, Sam Smith, Meg Thee Stallion, Doechii. Hollywood pushes demonic imagery on us all the time. It's to normalize us to it. It's not for shock value because it's not shocking anymore. What's the other one called? Lil Nas X, twerking on the devil. Do you think this is a coincidence, guys? It's all part of the plan. Now, on the table, we are introduced to a man who's half naked and he's blue. Now, this entity is the representation of Dionysus, who is a Greek god. Now, Dionysus represents the dual nature of wine and revelry, embodying both the joyous and ecstatic side of intoxication and the wild, unpredictable, and sometimes destructive forces of nature. He is the Greek god of wine, fertility, festivity, ritual madness, and theatre, and is also associated with vegetation, orchards, and religious ecstasy. Deep what he represents, intoxication. We are talking about an agent of chaos here, and they put him in this ceremony. But do you want to know what's more interesting is who he represents in the Egyptian eyes. Now, Dionysus was identified with the Egyptian god Osiris. Both were dying and reviving gods associated with fertility, death, and the afterlife. Now, Osiris is the father of Horus. Modern occultists often worship these Egyptian deities. Horus, remember, is the person who visited, allegedly, Aleister Crowley, the wickedest man on earth. That's why a lot of these occultists believe in, these Egyptian gods. We also have a headless Marie Antoinette in the ceremony. Take a look at these two videos.
The headless Marie Antoinette singing with her severed head is more than just a historical reference. It's a perversion of the concept of resurrection and eternal life that Christ offers. The entire spectacle seemed designed to provoke and offend, particularly those of the Christian faith.
There's not much to say about the Marie Antoinette. If those have seen it, there was one scene with a heavy metal band with Marie Antoinette with her head cut off, holding her head in her hand, and then her head saying "all will be well" as some heavy metal band starts to play, and then there's like these explosions of blood, out onto the field, and it's like, that's it. And it's interesting because the head of the one who orchestrated it, he said, it's the Republican values. It's the values of the Republic. It's the values of the revolution. My reaction to that is that, that's what it is. Hopefully my people will start to understand that is what all of the revolution leads to, is this type of kind of chaos and madness.
Those two videos explore two different interpretations. It represents the chaos, the fact that she's headless and singing and there's blood splatter or painted across the wall. It represents such chaos, anarchy. Is this the world we want? Whether we want it or not, this is the world that we are in, guys. We are in this age right now. Chaos. We can also see the pale horse, which is a symbol of the end times. How the world has fallen, where the old order is finished and the new world order is now. The pale horse has always been associated with death and is a sign of the end times. It's one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Beyonce has done a photo shoot, and I've exposed Beyonce a couple of times. Beyonce has done a photo shoot with the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. So has Bad Bunny. He has implemented the horsemen in his music. Bad Bunny, another soulless sellout. The Afrobeats artist Rema has also been seen with horse imagery. Hollywood has been pushing this imagery on us heavily since 2020. There's a reason for that, guys. Open your mind, open your eyes. They're telling us what is happening. We can also see the golden bull. Now, the golden bull has always been associated with the deity and the god Moloch. Moloch has been a deity that a lot of people worship. People have done sacrifices to Moloch. Lady Gaga was the performer at the Olympics. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on Lady Gaga. I've already exposed Lady Gaga on my Patreon. Lady Gaga, while she's one of the most popular celebrities, is one of the most demonic and satanic celebrities I've ever seen. So satanic, so demonic, and people call it art. People call it creation. She sold her soul years ago, and she actually stole someone else's identity and work. I've forgotten the girl's name, but there was an artist that she stole her whole steez from, her whole style from. Yeah, she's dead. The other artist apparently killed herself years ago. At the same time, Lady Gaga blew up. Coincidence? Who knows? But Lady Gaga is so satanic. Now, the closing ceremony wasn't any better either. There was so much more symbolism. I'm just going to quickly go through it. The person you see on your screen, they called the Golden Voyager, who likely represents Satan, a fallen angel. Not only that, we also see a headless angel that they erect. Now the picture you see on your screen side by side next to the headless angel is also a headless angel, and this is a picture of the goddess Nike. Just like Dionysus, another god slash goddess, Nike, they are clearly worshipping false idols and performing a global public ritual to honor them. This couldn't be more clear, guys. They are showing you exactly what we are entering into, dark times. The only way we actually get through this personally is by developing a relationship with God. Now, I am a Christian. I turned my back on Christianity when I was about 13 years old. I turned my back on God for about 15 years. I was dancing with the devil for years. Alcohol, drugs, women, all these things, pornography, blah, 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 blah. Completely lost. And I found my way, full circle moment, damn near nearly 20 years later, to God. And then this year I found my way back to Christianity. I don't give a shit about what people think in terms of religion and all these things, because the modern day people have no idea why they think that. They have been detached from God for a long time due to the elites that run this world, the media that we see pushing magic on us and all these things, magic here, magic there, occult themes here, occult themes there, science here, science there, which half of science can't be proved anyway. A lot of it's theory. Yeah, all this stuff to detach us from what they don't want. They don't want us believing in God, and they don't want us unified. They want us docile. They want us separated, divided, so we're easier to conquer. This is a fact. So I'm not going to be the person that they want me to be. No more am I going to be the person they want me to be. I'm going to cook my own foods. I'm not going to eat out the junk food that they spray on all our shit. I'm not going to be drinking no more. I'm 35 days sober now, whatever. I'm not going to be smoking no more. I'm not going to be doing this and this and this. I am free. I've broken out the matrix. Now, if we were all on that, wow, we would be so powerful, guys. So powerful. I really hope you made it to the end of the video. I'm honored and grateful that you sat through another long deep dive for your boy Cam. It means the world. I hope you enjoyed. If you made it this far, you know I gotta find out where the real people them are, bro. Where my real loyal people at? You know, a lot of people be commenting this and that, and I love it. It's great for the engagement. I know you're watching, but I want to see everyone commenting the angel emoji. Yeah, that way I know that you made it this far. Comment the angel emoji, 3 angel emojis, and I know you made it to the end. Thank you so much. And stay safe, stay blessed, stay vigilant. And by the way, some clown ass people in the last video thought this was the 666 symbol. This is not the 666 symbol. Yeah, doing the 6 like that and then flaring it is 666. God forbid. This is just counting. Yeah, we're allowed to count. So stay safe, stay blessed, stay vigilant. Peace.